Hey guys, yesterday in our devotions we were in Mark chapter 8 and we dealt with Peter's great confession of who Jesus is and the turning point that I reckon that was in his personal life, and I urge you to hopefully have a look back and make sure you've had the same thing. But today we read another aspect of this, where in verse 31 Jesus is now confronting the disciples with another incredible truth. This is what he says. He then began to teach them that the Son of Man, that's the name he gave himself, it's the Son of humility, it's this most humble man that God would become a man, and Jesus refers to himself as being the Son of Man. He must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders, chief priests and teachers of the law. You see, the people who should have received Jesus the most fondly were the ones who rejected him the most. The people, the scribes, the Pharisees, they'd read the Old Testament, they knew what the prophets had said, and yet they despised him and they rejected the one that they should have recognized. He spoke plainly about this. And now Peter, the same one who made that declaration, who went yesterday from zero to hero and now goes from hero to zero yet again. He spoke plainly about this, and Peter took him aside and began to rebuke Jesus. Isn't that incredible? I've just declared you to be the Christ, the Son of the living God. But now I have a word for you, Peter says. He didn't like what Jesus had said. And I'm sure the intent of his heart, if we were to judge that, there was no malice or maliciousness in it. But he makes a very stupid declaration to Jesus. But when Jesus turned and looked at his disciples, he rebuked Peter. What Peter had given to Jesus, Jesus gave back to Peter. "Get behind me, Satan," he said. Those are strong words. I would have said, "Hey, listen, Peter, just calm down. Let me just..." Jesus says, "Hey, Peter, get behind me, Satan. Do not have in mind the things of God, but the things of men." There's a huge world apart, the things of God from the things of men. Because we're human beings, we tend to see things obviously through human eyes. Because we are human and we have frailties and fallibilities, we tend to get the wrong end of the stick. We get the warped end of the variety of what we should be looking at. And Jesus understands that. But what Jesus is saying to Peter today is, don't mess with the plan of God. You see, Jesus was really clear to them, people, to say, for this reason I have come. I have not come just to be a teacher. I haven't just come to be a healer. I haven't just come to give you good morals and good ethics and a good way of living. I have come to die. And in dying, I fulfill my purpose for which God has sent me to this planet. Now, I don't understand that plan. Who can understand the mind of God? But I've got to tell you, as much as we may think, wow, what kind of plan is this? It's a plan that worked. Mankind is potential for redemption now because Jesus went through with the plan. You know, if I was Jesus and I listened to Peter, I would have said, "Peter, you know what, you're actually right. That declaration you made the other day is true. I am Jesus, the Christ, the Son of the living God. For goodness sake, I'm going to behave like that now, and I'm just going to call this whole place to order, and I'm just going to be the king, and I'm going to rule with a rod of iron, and I'm going to make you guys all my servants, and I'm going to beat the heck out of this place." And that would have been man's plan. But God's plan is different. It always is. God's plan was to redeem mankind through grace and love and deep kindness and heartfelt compassion. And as God began to see his plan through and being fulfilled in Jesus, we sit today now with redemption, a possibility to us. It's only a possibility until you make the declaration that Peter made it the first time. But it's a possibility because God's plan has been fulfilled. Jesus came on a mission, not to be some self-proclaimed person, not for us to tell him what a good guy he was or what a wonderful teacher he is. And he was all of those things. But Jesus came so that he would die upon a cross, be raised on the third day, so we celebrate resurrection as well as redemption. But because of what he's done, we get redeemed today. And don't stand in the way of the will of God to do that. Your sin can't stand in the way of the will of God. Your arrogance can, however. But your sin is not a problem to God. There's nothing you've done that He has not seen before. There's nothing you said that will shock Him. He won't say, oh my word, look what that person said today. I've never heard that before. God has heard it all. He's seen it all. And He's saying, I can forgive it all. But it's all dependent upon your response. Put down your pride, get rid of your arrogance, because the next passage is going to blow you away. And we'll talk about that one tomorrow. Don't you want to celebrate today God's redemptive plan? Man, it's a great plan. It's a plan that has worked and will work for eternity. Man, we're great. And we're grateful to God for how He views us in such a beautiful way. Have a good day.